Tyrannotitan chubudensis is one of the oldest known carcharodontosaurids. Very powerful, heavy, coming in at 7 tons, 3.5 tons heavier than his competitor, the number 14 seed Allosaurus. Allosaurus is 5 inches longer, however. Allosaurus is in his Epanterius amplexus guise, if you will. It is a couple of bones of a very large Allosaurus that was discovered. So we have Allosaurus modeled as the largest possible Allosaurus. He's got the speed on Tyrannotitan, but Tyrannotitan just has the heavier mass and that tremendous carcharodontosaurid bite that induces blood and flesh loss. So let's see what happens. Allosaurus, clearly having to fight intelligent in this battle, hits the ground running, and he goes in full speed, trying to take some evasive moves. Tyrannotitan, fearless, does not back down, answers the Allosaurus charge. Allosaurus, however, showing some really nice nifty moves, outmaneuvers this Tyrannotitan, comes around from the side and is able to rake Tyrannotitan repeatedly across the face, and takes a bite out of the back of Tyrannotitan. Tyrannotitan, surprised by the speed, goes after Allosaurus out of rage and anger, and Allosaurus is able to yet again avoid the snapping attacks of Tyrannotitan, comes in and takes another bite. Allosaurus is starting to pile up the damage, but what he's done in this case is, now that he's ripped open Tyrannotitan, he's now running and has turned this battle into a very boring, slow slog. Tyrannotitan is running down, trying to catch Allosaurus. Allosaurus runs away. Every once in a while, he turns back, charges in, takes a quick bite, and then leaves. He is literally having Tyrannotitan bleed to death. Tyrannotitan just getting more and more frustrated, burning more and more energy. Every time he exerts, he loses more and more blood. Ultimately, Allosaurus does a very bizarre move. He runs up behind Tyrannotitan and then opens his mouth to over 90 degrees wide. Nothing like this I've ever seen. He then hammers away at the back of Tyrannotitan's neck and skull as if he is hatcheting using his powerful jaw muscles. Tyrannotitan is blinded from blood in his eyes. He's ripped open, and Allosaurus has basically played a really smart game and defeats Tyrannotitan by causing him injuries early on and then running away. Not the most exciting fight at all, but a very smart fight on the behalf of our first of our Cinderellas here, number 14 seed. All right. So the next seed we had up, the next battle we had, was the number 3 seed, our friend Tyrannotitan chubudensis. And he was squaring off against our old hometowner, Allosaurus fragilis. So talk about Tyrannotitan for a moment. Tyrannotitan, despite its name, Tyranno, is actually a carcharodontosaur. And he's one of the oldest carcharodontosaurs, along with Acrocanthosaurus, to have been discovered. And he's got a number of early features. So he lacks a lot of the pneumaticity that later Carcharodontosaurus deliver. So lightness in his skeleton and his bones. So he is a massive, heavy beast, much heavier than an equivalent Carcharodontosaur a few million years later that had started developing the pneumatic lightning. And I was not familiar with Tyrannotitan. I'd heard the name. I always thought it was a Tyrannosaurid. So it was really neat for me to go learning about this big animal. And the other one in this competition, Allosaurus fragilis, it's known by literally hundreds of partial skeletons across the United States. And with Big Al and Big Al 2, we've got specimens 95+%. Cleveland Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry brings in 60+ Allosaurus individuals. And Dinosaur National Monument has produced unbelievably beautiful material of Allosaurus as well. So there's an animal that was called Epanterius amplexus, and that animal was named by Cope, and it's been now considered to be Allosaurus. And so in this battle, we chose to go with Allosaurus being an Epanterius size individual, pushing 40 feet long. So Allosaurus in this battle is actually a few inches longer than Tyrannotitan, but Tyrannotitan's still carrying a couple ton advantage. So hand it over to you in terms of thoughts on these two animals before we get into what happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm from Colorado, so Allosaurus is always a big favorite of mine. You know, that's a big one around here. Okay, those Carcharodontosaurs, man, they've just got those blade-like teeth, and they've got a bunch of them. So Again, the mass matchup, that's a pretty tough one to call usually. But with those big teeth, ordinarily I'd say give it to the Carcharodontosaurus, but Allosaurus, I wouldn't rule him out. There's a lot of tough predator there.
And in this particular battle, I went ahead and you always hope for the upset, at least when I play brackets. And the classic number 14 seed takes out a number 3. And in this case, that's exactly what happens. But I had, when we talked about it, Allosaurus, we made Allosaurus as a more intelligent fighter. So when he went in, he relied on his speed and his huge hand claws. People don't appreciate the size of the Allosaurus hand claw. It's 7+ inches long, going around the curve. It can exceed 10 inches in length. And he's got a huge counterbalanced tail that allows him to get some really nice speed going. And I had him attack, savage the Tyrannotitan, dodge the counter strike, and then run away and allow the animal to bleed. And that's the story. The recurring theme in this battle is boredom. Allosaurus runs, strikes, and then runs away and infuriates Tyrannotitan.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it almost feels like some of those old difficult video games you used to play on Super Nintendo, It's like a guerrilla warfare type thing a little bit, He's just coming in, making little bites at it and getting just out of range just in time and just doing that and wearing him down. That's got to be frustrating to deal with.
And I think if you played this battle back 10 times, Tyrannotitan wins it 9 times out of 10. If he gets one even halfway decent bite, the amount of flesh that he is going to remove from Allosaurus is going to rip open a gigantic bloody wound, putting Allosaurus in a bad place.
Oh, sure. Allosaurus has absolutely no room for error here. He's got to play it perfectly every time or he's done.
So in this case, Allosaurus won it. I'm very excited for next year when Tyrannotitan comes back and represents himself again. I'm putting a lot of money on Tyrannotitan if we were betting real currency, but I think Tyrannotitan's got a lot of possibility here. And we sold him a little short, but at the same time, I like Allosaurus. He's well known. He is a very powerful dinosaur and is in this big Epanterius size. I will see what happens in the next round with how Allosaurus fares.